Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
All right, everybody out there, what kind of computer are you using? Now, I don't mean Mac or PC. I mean, are you using a desktop or a laptop? Laptop, desktop, 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 laptop, desktop. Yeah, you know, there's never going to be a right answer. Which is better, a laptop or a desktop? And the only reason why I bring this up is not necessarily to spark a holy war, although that is kind of fun to do every once in a while. But instead, a community member, specifically who goes by the handle CompuCrazed94, he says, hey, that's his handle. He's from the live.pirillo.com chat room. He writes, I'm in a little fight with my dad. It's not one of those huge fights, it's just a minor argument about a computer. For Christmas, you might or might not know that I'm really hoping for a computer as long as I get half of the money for it. And I want a desktop computer. However, my dad disagrees and always says no and that I should get a laptop. I keep trying to convince him that a desktop contains more power and hard drive space for less cost because I probably won't get half the money for a good laptop, even with the special sales around Christmas time. But he insists on a laptop. Is there any other way I can convince him into a desktop instead of a laptop? Well, first of all, you're reminding me of, it wasn't exactly an argument, it was more of a temper tantrum that I threw when I was a child. I really wanted a shuttle Tidarium from Kenner. This, of course, would be one of the spaceships from Return of the Jedi. And I really wanted it, and I just couldn't wait for it. And my dad apparently was mad at me and said that I wasn't going to get one. And I cried myself to sleep for the better part of 15 years until I was able to get one on eBay, and thankfully the tears have ended. Unfortunately, I will always hold a Tidarium against my father. Well, enough of my problems. You've got different problems altogether. Laptop versus desktop. Well, everybody is going to have a different opinion on that matter. In fact, I'd be surprised if some people weren't already throwing their ideas into the chat room, and if they aren't, I'm certainly interested in hearing more. I want a laptop for mobility, and that, I hate to say, CompuCrazed94 would be my opinion. I'd actually side with your father on this one. You're probably young, or at least young enough to be living at home and to be getting gifts at Christmas time, and old enough to know that Santa Claus is still alive in spirit, but you know how to get to Santa Claus in a quicker fashion than even younger people might. Laptop, you're going to be able to take with you everywhere. And even though you're not going to have as much power, sometimes it's nice to be able to go mobile. Imagine if you wanted to go over to a friend's house and you have some data or you have something that you've been working on. Are you going to lug your hard drive across the city? You might, but is it easier to take that laptop with you? Yeah, and that's likely what your father's thinking as well. It's going to be easier to move that laptop around so that if you want to work in one room or another, or if you want to take it on the road, or if you're on vacation, or even wanting to take it to school, you can. You can't do that with a desktop. You know, as a kid, you're likely thinking about playing a lot of games, and in which case, yeah, a laptop probably isn't the best choice, but your father's thinking in a practical sense. So this is a really tough one, but for students, I'm still going to have to fall back on a laptop suggestion. Laptops are definitely better for school. As I said, the screen just went out, and I don't know if you're making reference to a laptop screen. Of course, that's the problem with all those all-in-one units. If that one part breaks, then, well, the whole thing needs to be repaired. But I just can't think. I mean, the desktop, the reason why you get one is again, if you really wanted to, you're really concerned about performance, and if you're really doing a lot of games, then yeah, performance is a big deal. But you know, that laptop, I think you're going to value as a student being able to take that laptop wherever you go, compared to just having one particular machine sitting in one spot at all times, or at least not as portable as a laptop would be. So I can tell you that I think I'm not a gamer, so I'd prefer a laptop, yeah. See, I think he's going to be going for gaming, but I think this is going to be an argument that's going to be difficult to win, because education is very important. And if your father is, willing to put up, Santa Claus and or your father are willing to put up half the money for this particular device, which I think is admirable, because this is a very expensive decision. But his say is pretty heavy because, of course, he's your father, and you need to respect his wishes, specifically because he likely knows better as far as your educational path is concerned. Now, that being said, I'm not going to tell you how to subvert your father's instructions, but since you are putting up half the money, you should have half the say. Now, you have to be able to come up with a salient set of argument points to which you can return to your father on why a desktop is going to be better than a laptop specifically for you. List out 25 reasons. If you can, I dare you. You got to do it. If you really want the laptop, or I'm sorry, if you really want the desktop, not the laptop, you have to create an argument. Yeah, and I don't mean argue, but points as to your position. 25 may be too much. 10 definitely, but 10 to 25 points on why you believe the desktop is going to serve you better. But in doing this, do not mention gaming once, because your father has already made it kind of clear that he doesn't really think that gaming is as important as portability goes. This is, like I said, there's no right or wrong answers to this. But whatever you do, just please don't call Dr. Laura on this, because she'll do nothing but chastise you. And say, don't buy a laptop. You need to, read books and go outside. Don't call Dr. Laura. That's the worst thing you could do. Of course, I say I'm just kidding, obviously. You can call Dr. Laura if you want, although she doesn't really give a lot of computer advice. I don't know, what kind of argument points would you guys give? Oh, Jimbo doesn't like cigarettes. What kind of points would you give specifically to help CompuCrazed 94, unless of course his father's watching? The desktop replacement, win-win. Very good, User Al, very good. That may be your argument point right there, and that may be as much as you can possibly hope for, CompuCrazed 94, and certainly I'd say any kind of computer is better than no computer at all. Desktops can be upgraded slowly over time. See? Okay. Leave your messages. Leave your points. Let's see if we can help CompuCrazed come up with 10 to 25 reasons on why his father and or Santa Claus is going to want to get him a desktop computer, not a laptop. Let's come up with some good points for him, not just in the chat room, but again, comments as well. So what do you guys think? Laptop or desktop? Either leave a follow-up remark or, just come and hang out with the chat room every once in a while. We've got people who watch the stream live throughout the day, even when I'm not here. They're watching. Don't ask me why. Didn't think screens that did nothing were exciting, but I tell you, 30 inches, even on a webcam, is pretty darn exciting. Anyway, we're always here, live.pirillo.com.